Hey, welcome in. I'm Joel Klatt, getting you all set for the 2022 NFL Draft. Let's talk about wide receivers, one of the deepest position groups available in this draft, as has been the case over the last couple of years, because there's been a lot of great receivers in college football. And of course, you're seeing them do big things in the NFL really early in their career. So who are the guys that are going to be affecting your favorite team next year on Sundays? Let's take a look quick, 10 through 5. Okay, George Pickens from Georgia. There's a lot of talent there. David Bell, everybody from Iowa is very glad that David Bell is no longer going to be at Purdue. So I've got him at number 9. John Mechie, I think if healthy, he could probably rise even further than that, from Alabama. Jalen Tolbert, he's a guy that a lot of people like a lot. Jamison Williams, his speed and ability to attack the middle of the defense, I think is really, I don't want to say second to none, but when you think of Jamison Williams, what I think of is a guy that burst out at Alabama, and partly because of his ability to attack down the field. Hopefully he's going to be healthy. And listen, we see guys all the time now come back from these ACL injuries. But when you think of his speed, his ability to make plays, special teams, all of those things, his impact is felt across the entire game. And again, the ability to attack the middle of the defense down the field is something that I think I'm most impressed with. If he's healthy, maybe that national championship is just a totally different deal. But Jamison Williams is certainly a guy that I'm very high on. And if he wasn't injured, probably would have been higher on this list for me than number 6. Jahan Dotson from Penn State. He's a guy I'm a big fan of. I thought he was terrific for James Franklin and the Nittany Lions. In fact, they probably could have targeted him even more than they did, in particular in the red zone. I thought he could have had a little bit of a bigger impact in college than what he even did, and he's a terrific player. I love his ability, even though he's not a big player, in the 50-50 situation. So when he's covered and the result of the pass is in question, that 50-50 scenario, strong at the catch point. Love his ability to go get the hands on the football and bring it down. Now let's look at my top 4 wide receivers for this year. Chris Olave at Ohio State. Now he may be bumped up in this in particular because of that blazing fast 40 that he ran at the NFL Combine. I love his ability to run routes. You've heard me call how many Ohio State games, and every time I saw Chris Olave, it was just like this silky smooth route runner. His ability, like Jamison Williams, to get into the middle of the defense and attack deep down the field is, I mean, as good as anybody. His ability to adjust at the catch point is as good as anybody. And they attacked down the field, whether it was Justin Fields at quarterback or it was C.J. Stroud. Chris Olave became a leader in that room. He became a guy that was relied upon for the Buckeyes. He was terrific in all facets, and he burst on the stage. I'll always remember a few years ago blocking a punt against that Michigan team. It was in the horseshoe, and even as a young player, he went out there and blocked that punt. So a terrific player, Chris Olave. And when I'm thinking of teams like the Packers and the Chiefs and maybe even the Falcons, these teams that could need wide receivers, these are the names that you're looking at. At number 3, for me, Treylon Burks from Arkansas. He's a guy that a lot of people are talking about. I'm not as familiar with him from covering him like I am from Chris Olave, but when you watch him on tape, you can't help but be impressed. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, he does everything well. At number 2, I've got Drake London, the big wide receiver from USC. Listen, I know a lot of people weren't talking about him because USC had kind of fallen off the map. But if you were up late watching Pac-12 games, like you should be, you saw this guy absolutely dominate. He is a physical freak. He's got the basketball background, so he understands how to use his body in order to create space. He's got very strong hands. He's great at the catch point, and he comes from an offense, at least under the last few years, that was very pass happy. So he understands the importance of getting open, snap in, and snap out. This guy is terrific, and I think he could get selected in the top 10, maybe even will get selected in the top 10. But my number 1 wide receiver is the sensational Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. When you talk about a great route runner who also has the explosiveness and the speed to take the top off the defense and create big plays, that's Garrett Wilson. I actually saw Garrett last week, right before his pro day at Ohio State. I was out watching some spring practice, and I got a chance to sit out there and just talk with Garrett. And it's interesting to hear him talk about the fact that he needed to become a better route runner during the course of his career, and he focused on that. And he really took that to heart. Even when a young kid came in, Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously son of the Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison, who played with Peyton Manning for so long, and he said the detail in which Marvin would run his routes, Garrett learned from that, became about a better route runner because of that. His ability to stop and start, and then those little nuances of bending on the outside, getting to the other side, and then the separation with that speed that I was talking about. It's very rare when you get a guy that can run as fast as Garrett Wilson and yet is as precise as he is as a route runner. That's a big reason why he's my number one wide receiver and why he probably is going to get selected in the top 10 of this year's NFL draft.